You blinked into existence 3 seconds ago. You just don't know it yet. Don't scroll. No. I need you to do something first. Think of your mom's face. Actually do it. I'll picture it clearly, the specific way she looks at you, the sound of her voice, a memory you have of her that nobody else has. Got it good? That memory is probably fake. She probably doesn't exist. It's the house you grew up in, never built. The friends you're texting right now, never born. The entire story of your life. Every embarrassing moment. Every laugh. Every scar. And why you got it. Fabricated. Randomly. By the universe. About 3 seconds ago. And I can prove it with math. Okay, but first, a dead Austrian guy. Vienna. A physicist named Ludwig Boltzmann is sitting alone because Ludwig Boltzmann was always sitting alone, staring at a question that sounds like something a drunk person asks at 2 a.m. Why does time go forward? Put the eye roll away. This is actually insane when you dig into it. See the fundamental equations of physics? They work both directions, forward, backward. The math doesn't care. There is literally no equation that says time must flow the way it does. Run the laws of physics in reverse, they still work perfectly. So why have you never watched a broken egg uncrack itself? Why has your cold coffee never spontaneously heated back up? Why does every photo of you from 10 years ago look younger and not older? The universe doesn't have to work this way, it just does. Boltzmann figured out why. And it's so simple and so devastating that once you hear it, you can't unhear it. There's only one way for your bedroom to be perfectly clean. There are billions of ways for it to be a mess. So when things change randomly, and they always change randomly, at the atomic level, everything is just particles bouncing around. They drift toward mess. Not because the universe is broken, because mess has more addresses. He called this entropy. The universe's unstoppable slide toward disorder. It explained the direction of time. It explained why heat flows from hot to cold. It won him a place in history. It accidentally created the most disturbing idea in science. Here's where it gets bad. Entropy increases almost always. Almost, not always. This is the part Boltzmann couldn't look away from. The part that arguably haunted him until the end of his life. In a universe built on statistics and probability, almost always means not always. And in a universe that exists for long enough, things go backwards sometimes. Randomly, just by chance. Pocket of order appearing in the chaos. The way you'll occasionally flip 10 heads in a row if you flip a coin long enough. It doesn't mean anything. A coin isn't magic. There's just enough flips. Now, what if there were infinite flips? What if the universe ran forever? Quantum particles jittering and fluctuating and randomly assembling and disassembling for longer than any number you know the name of? What would you eventually get? Small fluctuations happen constantly. A temporary ripple. A brief cluster of molecules. Nothing interesting, but bigger fluctuations. Given infinite time, you get everything. Eventually, just by accident. And here's where I need you to actually feel this next sentence land. One of those accidents is you. Picture this and try not to spiral. There's nothing. I mean actual nothing. Not darkness is something. Not cold. Cold is a temperature, not empty. Empty is a description of space. Just nothing. And then you, fully formed, every neuron in place, every memory intact, the specific weight of your phone in your hand, the way your back feels in your chair right now, the background noise of wherever you are, all of it, instantaneously, randomly, assembled out of quantum noise like a sandcastle built by a tornado. You don't arrive confused. You don't feel like you just appeared. You feel like you completely, totally, utterly you, midway through a normal day. Watching a video alive in the way you've always been alive, your brain hums along, absolutely certain it has a history. Your memory banks are full. You remember being a kid. You remember being embarrassed that one time. You remember learning to ride a bike, your first day at a new school, a specific Saturday afternoon that felt endless in the best way. None of it happened. You were a thought that the universe accidentally thought. And in about 3 seconds, the fluctuation will end, the atoms will scatter, and you will dissolve back into nothing. having never once suspected that your entire existence was a hiccup in the void. This is a Boltzmann brain, and the universe makes them, constantly, in numbers that should make you feel very, very small. Here's the number that'll break your brain. Forget billions, forget trillions. Those are adorable little numbers. Think about what had to happen for the real you, assuming you're real, to exist. A Big Bang. 13.8 billion years. How billions of galaxies forming. One specific star, your star, forming from the debris of dead stars. One specific planet, at one specific distance. 4 billion years of life fumbling its way toward complexity. Every single one of your ancestors going back to the first cell that ever divided, surviving long enough to pass something forward. Your parents meeting. The specific sperm and egg that became you, out of billions that didn't. That's the real you. It's what real you costs. Now, what does a Boltzmann brain cost? A quantum fluctuation. A random statistical accident. A ripple in the vacuum. It's cheaper. Astronomically cheaper. Incomprehensibly cheaper. So in a universe, old enough in a universe that runs long enough for every one real person who fought their way through 13 billion years of cosmic luck to get here, there are effectively infinite Boltzmann brains just popping into existence in the static. Picture every star in the observable universe. 2 trillion galaxies, hundreds of billions of stars each, now feel small. Boltzmann brains outnumber that the way that number outnumbers the number 1. You are drawing a card from the deck of all conscious minds that exist across all of time. Statistically, you just drew a Boltzmann brain. And then scientists realized our universe is literally designed for this normal Tuesday for astronomy. Researchers are measuring how fast the universe's expansion is slowing down because obviously it's slowing down. Gravity exists, basic stuff, except it's not slowing down, it's speeding up. The universe is expanding faster than it was yesterday, faster than last year, faster than a billion years ago. Some invisible pressure, dark energy is pushing everything apart, and has been the whole time, and shows absolutely no sign of ever stopping. Nobel Prize, massive deal. And for the Boltzmann brain problem, catastrophe, because here's what our universe looks like in the far future. Everything drifts apart. Galaxies become unreachable. Stars die. Black holes slowly, agonizingly evaporate over timescales that break mathematics. And what's left is an infinite, cold, dark, near-empty universe called de Sitter space, where nothing happens. Nothing will ever happen. And the only thing that never stops is the faint quantum flickering of the vacuum. Forever. And in that forever, random fluctuations keep firing. Mindlessly. Endlessly. Producing Boltzmann brains the way a broken faucet produces drops. Not dramatically. Meaningfully. Just constantly. Because that's what it does. The number of years before this starts is written like this. 101,066. Don't try to visualize that. Can't. Your brain isn't built for it. The age of the universe right now, 13.8 billion years compared to that number, is so small that calling it a rounding error is embarrassing. It's not a rounding error. It's nothing. It's less than nothing. We are in the first microsecond of a story that ends in infinite Boltzmann brains. Why scientists are actually panicking, here's the thing. This isn't just weird implication we can ignore. This breaks science from the inside. Science runs on one quiet assumption that nobody talks about because it's so obvious it feels silly to say. The assumption is, I can trust my mind, that my memories are real, that my measurements are accurate, that when I run an experiment and get a result, that result reflects something true about the universe. Now, what happens when your theory of the universe says most conscious observers have completely fake memories and completely fabricated sensory data? You just told yourself you can't trust yourself. The physicists who built the theory used brains to build it. Brains that, per the theory, are probably Boltzmann brains, which means the experiments might be false memories. The peer review might be hallucinations. The beautiful, century-spanning edifice of physics might be the dream of a quantum accident that lasted long enough to publish. The theory ate itself, and nobody has fixed it. The exits are all locked. People have tried. Brilliant people. Here's what they've got. Maybe one day, no warning, no countdown, it quantum tunes into a different energy state, and the laws of physics in your location simply cease to apply, spreading outward at the speed of light. You'd never see it coming. problem solved, except we don't know if this happens. We don't know when. And our best hope is sudden annihilation of all reality is a rough place for science to land. Each with their own Big Bang and their own flood of real observers, then maybe real people outnumber. Boltzmann brains across the whole thing. Maybe we're fine in the grand total, except we've never seen another universe. We can't. We never will. We're being asked to accept an infinite number of invisible realities as the solution to a math problem. That's not a solution. That's hope with equations around it. We're asking the wrong question entirely. Sean Carroll, brilliant physicist, famously frustrated by this problem, says the real issue isn't Boltzmann brains. The real issue is we don't understand why the Big Bang started in such a freakishly ordered state. Fix that. Build a real theory of how universes begin. And maybe the Boltzmann brain problem just disappears. Except nobody knows how to do that. Not even Sean Carroll. Not yet. Every door locked. Come back to right now. You're still here, still watching, still feel like yourself. Which, yes, I know, is exactly what a Boltzmann brain would feel. You want to prove you're real? Go ahead. Look around the room. Touch something solid. Call someone you love. You just use the same memory system, the same sensory data, the same brain. The thing you're trying to verify is the thing doing the verifying. There is no test. There is no way out. The prison doesn't have visible bars because the bars are made of your own certainty. Descartes, smartest man in the room, 1637, stripped everything back until he found the one thing he absolutely could not doubt. I think, therefore I am. Bedrock. Certainty, the foundation of rational thought. The Boltzmann brain kneels down, looks Descartes in the eye, and quietly says, "You've existed for 4 seconds. Everyone you love is a false memory. And you'll be gone before you finish that sentence." Not a refutation, just a clarification. You exist, barely, accidentally, temporarily in the dark. Here's what this actually means. You want the honest answer. Live your life. No, genuinely. The evidence that you are a real person in a real world is overwhelming. Physics, biology, chemistry, the stubborn refusal of your floor to stop existing, all of it points one direction. The rational move is to act like you're real because you have no better options, and the alternative is just standing in a room having a crisis, which solves nothing. But here's what the Boltzmann brain paradox actually does, underneath the dread. It means our map of the universe has a hole in it. It's a big one. When we take our best theories, the ones that have predicted atomic bombs and GPS satellites and black holes, we follow them all the way to their logical end. They produce a universe that's mostly made of lying ghost minds in an empty dark. That's not the universe we experience. Something is wrong with the map. Something fundamental about time, about entropy, about why anything exists in the ordered way it does, still missing, still unknown, still sitting out there in the dark, waiting for someone to find it. Ludwig Boltzmann died in 1906. Spent his whole life fighting to be believed. Brilliant, exhausted, alone in a lot of ways that mattered. He cracked the statistical nature of entropy and handed us the arrow of time on a platter, and buried inside that gift, invisible even to him, was a question he never knew he was asking. A question the universe asks of itself, sometimes in the form of a brief random mind flickering to life in an empty cosmos. A mind that looks around at the dark and asks the only question it has time for. Am I real? In the universe? Vast? Cold? Mathematically precise? Utterly indifferent? Pauses? And doesn't answer.